welcome to the Bob Randall and Company live preview show for Monday, April 24th, 2023. This is our episode 12, season 2. At this time, I want to welcome in my co-host, the fabulous Mr. Randall Santa Checker Lee.
Hello, everybody. Thanks again, Bob. I'm going to keep on sending you those checks for saying those great intros, man. I'm going to keep on saying those checks. Hey, everybody. Good to see everyone. Scott, Rex, Merrick,
All right,
Moesha.
guys, before we go on to the weather and continue, I mean, I know that most of those in the Santa community has by now heard of the passing of one of the most respected and loved top performers in the red suit entertainment industry. Santa Gordon Bailey took his last sleigh ride Saturday, April 15th, where he passed peacefully in his sleep. Of course, most folks know that he was the founder of the Santa and the Business of Being Santa professional technical training school for Christmas entertainers. He was the author of 4 course textbooks of over 1,000 pages combined and other writings that he was in the process of writing. Just know that the school will be his legacy. He left a great core of folks in charge. Me, Chrissy, Rex, Keith Alton, Santa Chuck Moore are all part of the Sat Bob's teaching group, and we are at this point kind of on hold until we can get Gordon's memorial put together. I do want to mention that memorial will be in Honey Grove, Texas, June 10th of this year. Of course, they had already had a what they was calling a jingle and mingle picnic that they had planned. Chris Kovic, her husband Scott Martin, and Gordon trying to bring all the Sat Bob's alumni and instructors and everything together for just a night out, sit around the campfire and tell stories. Well, we're still going to do that. This time the stories will be about Gordon and his legacy. And as soon as we get the church information there in Honey Grove and the exact time, we will post that for everyone to see. Real quick, if you have not seen the GoFundMe we started for Gordon, please go over to any of the major groups on Facebook and consider giving a little bit of money. He had no final expenses, uh, funds put back, so we're doing our best to give him the best send off we can. Okay, Randy, how's the weather up there where you're at, brother?
Okay, it's actually cold. I'm sorry to say. We had some flurries today. Yes, that F word. Also,
Wow.
we had some flurries. Nothing really stuck, but last week or a week and a half ago, we were 80 degrees for 4 days in a row, and now we're had flurries again. So it's Michigan in the springtime. So I remember I was did a brunch at an Easter Sunday, and I said to the people, "Well, I'll be back on Mother's Day, and I bet you we'll have snow again." And I remember snow and flurries on Mother's Day, and that's only 2 weeks away. So here in Michigan, we don't know, but it's that roller coaster time of year. But
Well,
every day is getting closer to summer.
I was going to say we're in the transitional period for you guys down here. We're kind of the same way. No, it's been cool here. We've had one out of upper 40s, 50s in the last couple of nights. The afternoons are low 70s. Been really nice here. Dry humidity. It's been quite the change. You know, though, up where you're at, Randy, it's like a up and down. But this time of year, there's more up with a little bit of those downs hiding around the corner waiting.
Yeah,
So you
I
just
mean, we
never
get
know.
the drastic it, up and down. I mean, it's like I said, it was 4 days in a row at 80 degrees, and now the last few nights it's been in the 30s, and we got a frost warning for tonight. So they say bring all your plants in if you put anything out. It's kind of crazy to put anything out this time of year anyway. But people get the idea that oh, it's warm for a couple of days. It's okay to plant new plants. Not till almost
You go
Memorial
there.
Day up here. Are you safe?
You go to those garden centers, at the big stores, and they've got all their garden center all full of beautiful plants that's been grown in a greenhouse somewhere,
Yeah.
a hothouse, and they're there, and you think, oh my goodness, it's warm. Let's get started. And you're right. There are some that are tender that can't take that. You have to go out and cover them up. It's a lot of work if you plant early,
Yeah, I
but
got.
a lot of folks have figured out a way to work around that.
I picked up 20 bags of mulch for the new house, and I got 10 down, and just got too cold, so the rest just sitting in the back of the truck for right now. I'll get them down the next few days. I'll get them done.
Exactly. So you started saying hello to folks. Let's. Looks like we've got
Oh
an
yeah, we got a
excellent
great
bunch
start
of
to say
folks
everybody.
today. And AJ, Erica Moesha's with us, Rex Ray as always, and Parker. Parker's always there. Hello, Carl White. I enjoyed speaking with you at the Santa Fama reunion. It was quite the quite the chat we had there towards the end. And in the middle of the show, I'm going to announce folks that we lined up for future shows on the Tuesday Night Live show. And Carl is one of those that will be coming on in the near future. Need to get with him, get a pencil to the paper, and get a date put down. Hello, Adam. Good to see you, brother. Man, you're looking good. Your beard's always looking good. We got future Joe out there, Mr. Ben Bellhorn, Kimmy Claus. Hi, Sean Marshall. Hey, she was in the fashion show. She looks so fabulous. Everybody just rant and raved and about her outfit. Absolutely beautiful as always. Kimmy, AJ, we said that. Parker, okay. I'm looking out through here see if I see anybody new. Nope, that pretty much covers them.
Wow. Great,
Who?
great, great bunch. Thank you guys
Russell
for joining
Hurd.
us.
He probably came up as Facebook user over on mine. Hello to Russell Hurd. He's here in North Texas with us and a very close brother of ours. And good to see you on today, Russell. All right, Randy, are you ready to go on? Have you got anything else to talk about before we go on to that something burger?
No, let's get going. I haven't had lunch, so I'm ready for a little
Let's get
snack.
that something burger going. Very good. Here we go. Now, this is the part of the show where we ask you, our viewers out there across the world of Santa Land, Mrs. Claus Land, to chime in. Give us your thoughts, your answers, what you think the best way to handle these situations. We have two questions for you every week, and Randy's going to pose his question first. So the floor is yours, Randy.
Oh, thank you very much, guys. This happens to me quite often. Well, maybe not quite often, but often enough that it really is something to think about. And I know you guys will have some great answers. How do you handle an overbearing, pushy, almost mean? I would say almost to the mean part of a parent. Uh, when their child doesn't want to smile, they don't want their picture taken. How do you handle the child and the parent? If they're like getting like, oh, just get the picture taken, I'm so mad at you, I'm going to take you home. And I mean, they get almost out of control, really mean and pushy. um how do you guys handle a parent that is really just being cruel to the child because the child just doesn't want to sit and smile with Santa sometimes? You might ask the parent, how about a picture with, you getting a picture? Oh, I don't want a picture. I don't want a picture with the Santa. And the parents don't want it. Well, then why do they expect their child to be overexcited about doing it? So how do you guys handle that with the family to calm down the parent and to calm down the child? It's more the parents
And
having
for
a problem with.
and for me, Randy, it's exactly that. I try to coerce in the kindest way I can to get the parents, at least one parent over there. Of course, they're never dressed and they didn't have their hair fixed, or there's so many different reasons why. But just take one and show the child it's okay. Get a little bit careful, maybe two, because the photographer can always delete those off the system. Those are something that aren't permanent. That's something that we can control over at the photo box at the mall, of course. And so just uh, get them over there, get the child careful. And a lot of times, I think that the thing that a lot of the smaller children think is that mom, dad's going to go off and leave them there with this man with this big white beard that they don't know. And I always encourage the child to know that mom's going to be standing right here, or dad's right here. They're not going anywhere. You'll be able to see them. You can wave at them. Just wave to them. And, we try to handle it the best we can, but there's always those few that no matter what, they've had a bad day. They're grumpy. They didn't get their cookies for the day, didn't get their nap in, and they just don't want to be there. And,
Yeah.
so you just have to try to deal with the best you can, make the best out of it. Of course, there's always toys, jokes, games. Remember this, guys. Rock, paper, scissors is a great game to play with children if they're old enough,
It's
and
easy
it
with
really
love.
relieves the tension. I mean, they just love to look at the laughing, and you get animated when they win. You won. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Santa's so bad at this game. So many things that you can incorporate into those scenarios. And for
Yeah.
you, Randy, what would you say would be your
Yeah, that's
go-to?
it's usually like I was saying, it's easier to break the ice with the child sometimes, even though, like I said, they're tired or whatever. Um, but sometimes I always have a harder time with the parent, um, because they want their child to smile, and most children don't smile on command. Most 2 years old, 2 year old, 3 year old don't smile on command. And I had a father, I think I've said this before. I had a father that said, "Oh, you were so good last year. You were so good last year. What's wrong with you now?" And and I go, "Dad, how old is, whatever the child's name was?" He goes, 18 months. I said, "Think about it. Last year, she was, 6 months old. That's why she was so great last year." But parents don't think about what they say either. So how do you've got to have a comeback for that, you know? So it's sometimes I have a hard time with parents, because they just want that picture so bad, and they've been waiting in line and everything else. So I know. So we've got some good answers, and Ben, you're pretty lucky. You said you haven't had that problem yet, but boy, I'm sure it'll happen that a parent doesn't want to, or a child doesn't want to.
Yes, it will happen real quick. Kind of off topic here a little bit, going back to where we was at just a moment ago. Russell Hurd and Eric and Moesha were in the fashion show there in Gatlinburg. Also, they look marvelous. Of course, Russell always has his game at the top of the or at the top of his game. Let's put it that way. When it comes to the fashion shows, he's been in several and always looking great. So is Eric Moesha. Everybody knows how we've documented their look with the white suits and all, and they always look fabulous. Also, okay, so Parker says, "Well, what happened was," and of course he left it at that. He's good at leaving us hanging, isn't he? Sean Marshall White, try to speak with a child in soft voice, reassure the parents in the same tone. I tell the parents it's okay. I take charge and guide the child to Santa very calm. And you know what? That is the glory, absolute glory of having
So
a experienced Mrs. Claus with you on set, because they can always perform those type of duties and outperform Santa when it comes to children, because they're, as she says, soft voice, soft look, kind mother, grandmother image, and that's a great point, Sean Marshall.
yeah, it's so much better to have that Mrs. Claus or that elf even there with you. It kind of, because Santa's such a big character, that person diffuses the child and also can diffuse the parent while Santa's with the child. So that's a great one. And next one is Facebook use. I'm not sure who that is, but it says
That's
I've given
Russell.
okay, Russell, I've given a parent a candy cane and tell them to stand by the camera, um, and start having a friendly conversation with the child, interacting. That's a great idea. Um, I have a stuffed toy for the child to play with that helps. Like we go back to Gordon, his little teddy bear and the squeaker. It calms them down. It's like anything to interact with a child to get them to smile. And boy, when they start giggling, as long as you got a good photographer, click. You get that giggle smile. Boy, that's when you got a good photographer to do that. Um,
That's a great point you bring up there too, Randy, because for me at the mall, and I know many that work with photographers, even if it's in their studio, if you will go in the first day and just have a little powwow with the photographer, and most professional studio photographers know this, it's those on the big box stores and at the mall that are young, inexperienced on the camera a lot of times, and they need a little bit of help. And you have to tell them, you've got to be ready, because the candid shots are the ones that turn out to be the best. The posing is great. It's good to pose, but it's those that aren't expected that will always be the best shot that you'll get. Just have your finger on that button and be ready to click. It costs nothing to click that button on the camera, only to print. So
right.
click away.
Yeah. And as a photographer, I have dealt with a lot. First, and I ask everyone to whoops, it moved, take a step back. If the children's crying, I let them go back to mom for a little while. That is, you definitely got to let them calm down a little bit, because mostly a child is not going to relax and stop crying. Sometimes they do, but if they're already that upset, they've got to go back to mom and dad or step away for a little bit. Definitely is a necessity to do. You
Yeah,
don't,
that was Jessica Rosa, and everyone knows that she's a renowned
yeah,
photographer, Santa Mrs. Claus photographer. Uh, she explains if all don't have the right energy, then this isn't fun for everyone. So I give them a moment to step aside and watch the child behind them have their turn. That's always a good point too, Jessica. Then I continue being playful, making the upset child feel like they are missing out on the fun. Then when their turn is over, I ask them, "Are you ready to have fun with Santa?" Great point there, Jessica. As always. Let's see. We got Jerry's watching today. He says we skipped. I think did we get Rex's comments up
No,
here?
we missed Rex's there
Okay, go
above
ahead and
there.
catch Rex's if you want to, Randy.
Yep. Hold on, let me get right, but it'll be easier to read here. Um, I hold a hand to the I hold a hand in a classic hold on sign and ask the parents to take a step back for a minute. Just take a step back, and which is a great thing for the parents to step back. Whoops, maybe it was better on the screen. Um, and let Santa work his Christmas magic. And that's, you got to let the parents know that. Santa is, for some reason, parents think they know better than Santa does. And see, I love the sign. Do you know how to hold a child? I love that line. Do you know how to hold a baby? Um, and it's okay for parents to be curious and concerned. That's a nice one. Um, how does hold his Christmas magic and to see the Christmas spirit can get the picture they love. Most folks have hard time saying no to Santa, which is true.
And I believe it was Rex that had told us that the way he sets up with photographers is, or in his case, the parents actually have to stay outside while the child comes in with Santa to
Wow.
get those photos. I believe it was Rex that was telling us that a couple of weeks ago. All
Yeah,
right,
like
let's see.
Carl said also. Carl said
Go
also
ahead.
have a little plan ahead of time with your photographer. That's definitely is always a helpful thing, especially if you're working on a photographer every year, or even you should talk ahead of time. Period. If you do a photo session like that, it's a little different if you're doing like a big box store or a mall or something like that. That's just constant, but you can at least let your photographers know to be ready. Like Bob said, those candid pictures are
Yeah,
just so much better.
and with the big box stores and the mall, you've got rotating photographers coming in. They're not the same photographer like in a studio. You're working with a photographer that's their studio, so your whole time is with them. With the mall, the big box stores, you've got numerous different camera people coming in and out because they work shifts. I was very fortunate this year that two of the three folks that I worked with, and majority of the time was my daughter and granddaughter, and of course the three of us worked very well together because we already knew all the things that we needed to do to get the shot. Let's see, Melissa Land is with us. Good to see you, Melissa.
Hey,
So
Mel.
great seeing everyone over the Santa family reunion. Yes, it was. It was such a great time. If you have not got a chance to get out to the Santa family reunion, make plans for 2025. I absolutely was blown away by how professional uh, and how well put together and all the different things that was offered. I got to tell you, Trish Paris and uh, Sherry Heath did a phenomenal job and all the volunteers. Everyone, as Rex had mentioned during one of our live broadcasts, if you see a folks with the white vest on, they are part of the event. Go over and thank them for their service. They are volunteers and did a heck of a job.
That's cool.
Sean Marshall says we never know what has taken place before they arrive, but we know what we can create if they allow us. That's so true. And as Randy mentioned, Sean Marshall, a lot of the parents try to take control when they should really take a back seat. We are the professionals. The photographers are trained somewhat depending on the situation. Also there, and I'm like you, Randy. The one thing that just blows me away is that I guess they don't know our history, but for me, being at the mall for 10 years and someone walks up and says, "Can you hold the baby?" I say, "Well, of course, I've held hundreds of thousands of babies in my life. I've never dropped one yet, thank God."
Yeah, thank goodness. Yeah, it is. It always gets me when somebody asks, but I mean, they do it for a reason because they don't know if you're because the problem is with a lot of people out there, they think Santa's you're getting $10 an hour and you're something that you put a suit on like it used to be years ago for the mall Santa. They don't know the training we go through and time and effort for our craft. So they don't know anything. So it isn't. I don't think it comes from meanness for them asking that question. It just. Seems kind of funny. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
for
and
sure.
it's
Gary Lender, hello, sir. Good to see you, my friend, as always. Jessica Rosen says, by the way, hi, Santa family. I snuck in just as Randy was asking his question. Russell Hurst says, laugh out loud. I like to ask parents, do you know how to release your child to me? Correct. Oh, that's good. That's epic.
Actually, sometimes they don't. They want to drop and
Hey,
run, drop and run. You know, it's like, wait a
that's
minute,
why
I gotta hold them. I gotta hold them. Hold on.
I'm laughing. I mean, I am shocked at how many times a parent would just kind of like a loaf of bread, chunk them at you and
Yeah,
release them before you've even got your hands on them good. So you got to really be quick with the hands to make sure you don't drop a baby for sure. Hey,
yeah.
Herbie. Hey, I got to commend Michael, Herbie the elf. What a fantastic job as master of ceremonies for the reindeer games. Dude, you had me busting in stitches, as well as Stephen Gillum and Lee Andrews and Michael Howell. And of course, everyone knows Mitch. He's cut and dry, but he's funny too at times, especially when Jenny takes those hard boiled eggs. And someone mentioned that Mitch was beginning to look like a unicorn. He had a knot this big on top of his head after Jenny got through.
I think he kept on hitting them the wrong way. You can't. You got to hit them on the side, not point the ends. You got to
Oh,
be.
man.
Yeah, he must have. It's like, ouch. Oh, yeah. That was yeah, it was good. Herbie, great job, man, as always. That's why I asked Herbie to be the master of ceremonies at our wrap up dinner for Maps. That's why Herbie just
He's
takes
perfect.
control. He is a
He's a
master at
perfect
that. Thank you,
MC.
Herbie.
Perfect MC. Can't ask for a better person to handle it and does it well with grace and dignity. And I talked to Mitch on the phone the next morning. He had called and was inviting us out to do some things if we was going to, have time. And he said, "Man, I've got a headache and my head is so sore." And they had other eggs. They had to end up cutting it short because for some reason, but they had another couple of dozen eggs waiting in the wings in case they needed to continue going on. All right, let's see
Yeah, great.
here.
Again, great answers, guys. We just thank you so much for the input on all that. Um, and it just is so much help to help everybody get ideas and everything else. Thank you again. And Bob's got a great question too. So number two for something burger. Here's Bob's question.
Dude, we got a couple more comments real quick
Oh,
on
I'm
you,
sorry.
brother.
I apologize. My fault.
Derek Dugan is with us. He says more like toss and run. Got to be an NFL receiver sometimes. That is so true. So true. And Parker says, Deck a dad who's being naughty. Fa la 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 la. Yes, I'm going back to timeout. All right. Now I think we can move on. I think we got everything in there that we wanted. All right. So, question number two on our something burger, our hot topic segment for this week. How do you go about communicating with a photographer either at a studio or mall when going in to work with them for the first time? So, this is exactly what we were talking about a moment ago. Do you actually politely go over different techniques and a few poses you use, explaining any hand or facial gestures that you may be using during your time at that, at that particular moment? Or if you're doing multiple sessions with a photographer, and or in my case at the mall, I always go in my first day, talk to my photographers. It's going to be behind the box and the camera, and kind of work out a little system with them, which works well and has always served us well. How do you go about communicating with a photographer, either at a studio or a mall, when going in to work with him for the very first time? Do you actually politely go over different techniques and a few poses you use, explaining any hand or facial gestures you may be using? All right, guys, get your comments in there for that one there. We kind of picked up on a little bit in Randy's
Yeah.
first question, but that's the way we've been trying to set this up.
Right.
Our first and second question go hand in hand a lot of times, and even the Santa's flight checklist at the end, sometimes fits in there. That way we get it covered well for each topic.
Yeah, it's always so good if, especially if you're doing a photographer, and even if it's like Bob wants to know a new photographer, you know, on the phone, when you're talking to a phone, when you're booking it, just take those few minutes and say, you know, ask her if she's done Santa before or how, and what her thought process is, and you can of course put your input in about way you like to work with the children and all that. So you definitely have to have open communication, especially if you're doing a photographer, especially because people are paying big money for those packages. I'm not saying anything against the mall or a box store either, um, but those are a little different type quick photos. Well, malls have big packages too, actually, but big box stores are pretty quick. Um, but you still want to talk to them about take a picture now. Best thing to do is take it first or whatever. Be ready. Be ready with a clicker. That's the biggest thing is be ready with that clicker. Don't take your finger off the trigger.
Yeah, that 3 to 5 second rule is always very important. Because a lot of the smaller children, they may sit down there and not realize that Santa really has them for, 3, 5, 6, 7, 10 seconds. Once they realize Santa's got them, sometimes they go to pieces. So get that first picture. I don't care if they're looking at the camera. I don't care if they're looking at Santa. I don't care if they're smiling. Just get a picture of them not crying with Santa. Then we'll work from there to get the best we can get.
Yeah, I
Hi,
was.
Charlie Johnson. It was good to see you up there at Santa Family Reunion. There was so many folks there, folks I hadn't seen or folks I hadn't seen in a while. Derek Dugan says, honestly, you have to learn how they work and what you are accustomed to. Very true.
Yeah, because
Uh,
each photographer has their own kind of what they've been used to it. So you're not going to totally change them
no.
for you sitting in the chair. So you've got to come up with a mutual thing. But
And some photographers are receptive to the fact that if you've been Santa for some time and they've been a photographer just as long, you still have input, a little bit of input that you would like to pass along to them if you can, if you run into a scenario that they're not as familiar with as you are. But there's a lot of studio photographers that are well set in their way. They do things a certain way, and therefore you're just there as a prop, and that's what you are, a prop. Let's see. Mr. White says, Carl White says, with my studio photographers, I try and meet with them prior to the season over coffee to chat about plans and contingencies for those types of scenarios. It can also be a great chance to get some great photos of Santa alone and some promo shots for their session. That is true too, and very important. A lot of photographers like to have you come in and do some promo shots ahead of the actual photo sessions that you'll be doing for them. Hi, Jenny Lynn. I know you guys are tired too. It was a long week, wasn't it? Trying to see who this one here is. I'm gonna have to go back pick it up over here. That's gonna be Jessica. I explained to the Santa that I need to get the photo first, and I'm only gonna do everything I can to keep their attention on me. As soon as I get what I need, I'll let Santa take over. Only when I ask for Santa's help will I ask them to help. Rarely do I not get the shot, but I prep my Santas by saying, follow my lead. And she does. And I have worked with Jessica, and one of the most pleasurable photographers to work with. She is truly the utmost professional when it comes to uh, being at the top of her craft. She's one photographer you don't have to worry about. You just go in and be yourself, and she captures some of the greatest moments you'll ever see. Let's see here. Ernie says, I usually chat beforehand and signal and ask what they look for and try to give my experience on what seems to work well. I've worked with professional photographers and I've had to also direct some on what to do. Very good, Ernie. Great input. Uh, Gary Linder says the ones that I use know exactly what they want and they direct me. They do not want to hear any advice or any ideas. That's what I was saying. The majority of those photographers have been working for some time. They're in control. They have it. They know what they want. They know what they're looking for. And you are just a prop. Uh, you know, follow their lead, as Jessica says, and everything goes really smooth and they get the best possible photos. And that's what matters. You're there to serve not only the children and the family as Santa, but you're there to serve that photographer. You're there to do a job for that photographer. So give them your undivided attention.
and that's what and it works as long as the Santa and Mrs. and the Santa and photographer works that way. She
Mhm.
gets what she wants. The client gets what they want, and it's a win-win situation all the way around. So that's why, like everybody said, you got to talk ahead of time to see where they're coming from. And then it's also
Absolutely.
a good idea to talk about your dress too. What at the time do they need you to change a few things? Do you want to go casual? Do you want to wear a parade suit? Do you want to do whatever? So you've got to talk ahead of time anyway. So
A lot of guys give, if they haven't worked with a photographer before, they'll give them a choice of here's what I have to offer in costuming. Choose, tell me what date you want what, and that's how I'll show up. This year, I worked with a new photographer. She was well established, one of the top photographers here in the Metroplex. And I went in the first day. I'd asked her what she wanted me to bring. She told me. I went in the next day. This was a Saturday. Went in on Sunday, and I had changed vests. And she says, "Well, where's the vest you had on yesterday?" And I said, "Well, I thought I would give you a little different color or something different." She says, "No, that don't work for me." And I said, "Well, luckily I brought the other vest. It's in my bag. Hold on." So I was able to change. So always check ahead of time because
Yeah.
photographers are very, very sensitive about how they want things to look.
I mean, they know their lighting, how it's set up. They know their staging, so they know what's going to work best when it comes to, um, and they probably don't know what their clients are going to wear, but they know what. So that's
Yes.
it's
Uh,
it's all about communication, and that's the big thing. It's all about communication ahead of time.
that's exactly right. And Jessica, that was from the heart, dear. She just thanked me for the comments. Uh, Russell says, I have a couple of Christmas and July events. Should I wear a Santa hat? Yeah, I mean, again, those are up to the event coordinator or the photographer, whoever is the contact person for you, the person is hiring you. And if it is a contact person, not the photographer, make sure that they're all on the same page. It's not just one or the other, it's everyone involved. Hello, Santa Tom. Hi there from Vancouver, Washington. If anyone has been following Facebook, Santa Tom has made the quarterfinals for the build off with uh, on the motorcycle build. I was trying to get it out right, but if you have not, go over to Tom's page and look. And if you feel like you would like to help him out, be sure and vote for Tom for the chopper build off with Senior of American Choppers. Who is this that says they work with 14 different photographers? Let me see. Joe Steppen. Okay, Joe. Joe says, I work with 14 photographers and each one is different. That is so true. It's just like anything in life. We're all individuals and everyone has their own way of doing things. Great point. AJ says, hello. Hey, AJ. Good to see you too. And congratulations on your father's being
Captain,
making captain there at the firehouse. Fantastic.
that's great.
Rex says, yes, my photographers and I agree on a look ahead of time, and we maintain that look for all sessions in that year.
But that's
Have
it.
we
All
missed anything?
That's it. Like I said, it all boils down to, like I said, the communication, and that's what we got to do. Especially if you're going to be there for if you have a 2, 3, 4 hour session that day or multiple days. Like Sean is saying here too, discuss props. What you want to be, what you want to bring to accent the character. That is really a good thing. They might not want maybe only your bells, no bells. They might want to bring you a book. They might have a book. Definitely discuss all that kind of stuff, and that's can enhance. It can definitely enhance a picture so much if they do all those extra added sparkles and you're holding a book and stuff comes out. It's a beautiful thing that photographers can do. It really is breathtaking.
Yes, she says
Without
also, I go into character when she starts taking pictures and think of the interacting I would be doing with children. This is for solo pictures, no children. So fantastic. All right, I think hey, that's one of the better sessions we've had all year long.
oh,
Fantastic job,
fantastic
audience.
guys.
Everyone put great input, great. Uh, Sean Marshall says antiques for my vintage character. Yet another good point. Fantastic. All right, you ready to move along and let's get into the santascloset.org trivia for the day?
Got it.
Let's go.
Hey everyone, Elf Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl, and Company Live. The show about nothing. Bob, Randyl, and Company Live is brought to you by Santa's Closet. Santa's Closet has been delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since 2004. Santa's Closet's main goal is to provide both a superior customer experience with tremendous value for their customers. Santa's Closet brings more than 400 separate products to the Claus community at a reasonable price. Santa's Closet is under new ownership. Let's welcome Santa Wade and Scarlett Kaufman of Tennessee, whom will continue the tradition of bringing you products of unparalleled quality and design. Don't forget to visit their sites at santascloset.org and support their efforts of bringing quality products to the community. This is Angela Mack reminding you to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
You know, guys, here on the Bob and Randall and Company live preview show on Monday, and as well as on the Tuesday Night Live, we like to give out really hard trivia questions. We want to make you work for the prize. And today we've got one that's this is a tough one. I sure hope Randy can read it. You ready, Randy?
It's a long question. I'm not good at long questions. Are you ready, guys? What is the oldest street in Michigan? What is the oldest street in Michigan? What is the name? It's got a name and a number. Of course, all streets have numbers. What is the oldest street in Michigan?
And answer to Ben's question, yes, Ben, you are all company. But now with that, well, with all that said, actually, when we come up with the concept of this show last season, we had planned on bringing in some extra guests during the season, and we are. We just haven't gotten there yet. We've been having so much fun, just me and Randy. We kind of don't want to, just kidding. But anyway, yes, we will. We're going to be inviting some guests into the Monday show in the near future. That's something we are working on, and you will be considered company.
Sure.
All right. So, have we got any answers coming in yet? Looks like we
We
do.
got answers, but they're not the right ones.
Yeah.
Yep. What is the oldest street in Michigan?
I mean, there's bits and pieces there. I see. Partially right. It wasn't everything
It's
we was
actually
looking for.
it should be. What is it called now? There's a number and a name for it now.
Yes. Good point. Great
A
point.
number and a name for it now.
And if you don't have the number and name and we don't get that, the correct answer is out there already. We just was looking for a little bit more there. Maybe it's my shortcoming from not making that question a little bit more, simpler. It was so complicated.
Actually, it's kind of weird. It was the first paved street in Michigan, also.
Sure
a little
was.
bit of it's first paved road in Michigan ever.
All right, so while we're here in this segment, it would be a good time for me to kind of mention that for everyone who went to Santa Family Reunion this last week, you got to meet Wade and Scarlett for the first time in person. Oh my goodness, what such a lovely couple. They are so kind, personable, just super, super sweet. Stood there and talked with us for a long time, got to know them really well in the amount of time that we had to visit with them. And we're looking so forward to finishing out this season and future endeavors with those with santascloset.org for the Monday show. And we do want to, make sure that we thank them again here in public. Start to say personally, but we already done that. But here in public for their contribution to the Monday show, it really adds a nice flair to be able to bring these trivia questions, have a little bit of fun, and give out a prize or two along the way. And while I was there, we talked about future gifts and things. The first shows of the season have all been the Magic Key that they offer. That was because Tom Cormelia had sent us a 15 of those to hold us over while he was transferring everything inventory wise, business wise, over to Wade and Scarlett. And so here in the next couple of weeks, we're going to start getting into some new stuff. And of course, that's going to be up to them. We talked about the different prizes that Tom had given away in the past. And so we're looking forward to see what they have to offer. And not to mention, they will also be future guests. We've already lined them up for a future date. We just don't have the exact date penciled, or I'd give that to you. But they will be guests on the Tuesday Night Live show coming up in the near future. All right, Randy, I think that we've got what we were looking for there.
Yep, we do.
I noticed. So we'll reveal the answer to that. We're going to move along. We always like to kind of keep you in suspense on that towards the end of the show. We'll come back and revisit that. So at this time, let's do the exit video, and we'll be right back on the other side of this with Elfin Chatterbox News. All right, very good. Here we are, and just into the studios. I'm gonna let Randy cover this again. I know we've covered it every week, but each week we get a few new folks coming in that may not have heard of this, and this is an important event. So over to you, Randy.
Yeah, starting, of course, Santa Cruz Christmas Performers Workshop is coming to Michigan, Rothbury, Michigan, 1st and 2nd of June. Um, go online to the MAPS website. There's links and of course, on Tuesday Night Live show here on Facebook you can go to. But it's June, why January? June 1st and 2nd on Rothbury, Michigan for the 2-day Christmas Performers Workshop. It's a class more about performing, less about the actual history of Santa or things like that. It's very, very hands-on that Santa True does. Great, and I'll be posting more information about that. He's also coming to Ohio and a couple other states. He's going around. So, but that's put on by Maps, which I'm a member of. So he's putting that, and then in that same weekend, 3rd and 4th of June, we have the Jingle Joy Retreat, just a fellowship weekend to get away, and that is like Tuesday Night Live, the favorite F word free. It's just like Tuesday Night Live shows; they're free. But Tuesday, that Saturday and Sunday, the 3rd and 4th at the Jingle Joy Retreat in Rothbury, Michigan, we have just to get away to fellowship everything. You have to pay for your hotel or your food, but all the rest of the fun is all packaged by Maps. So that's January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. 4 days of fun. It can be, or just 2 and 2, however you want to do it. It's 2 separate events. But of course, then School of Santa coming up. Wow, 2 weeks, 2 weeks this year. Crazy. The first week is already full. It's already sold out. July 13th through the 16th. That's already full down in Branson, Michigan by Spangle and the School for Santa, or School of Santa. It's of, right? Not for. It's of, right? SOS. Sorry.
Yep. First week's full. Second week's getting close to a sellout. I don't. I believe I heard either Jessica or Spangle told me this last weekend at Santa Fe reunion. I think we've got close to 75, so there may be 20, 25 seats left, unless that's changed since then. Everyone was talking about it at the Santa Fe reunion because it is the next big thing coming up on the agenda. So I suspect that it's going to be a sellout here within days, if not weeks. So if you decided on you at last minute that you got the funds, you want to come, you're not going to find a better value in the Santa community when it comes to learning. Keynote speaker this year will be Ed Taylor. Of course, we'll have Larry Talbot there talking about magic and insurance. Deanna Golden is coming back to do a presentation on Mrs. Claus. Uh, a whole host of things. Jessica Rosa will have her studio set up, her mobile studio set up there with, I assume, again, as always, several different settings to get pictures in. And one thing we want to mention about Jessica is, and she had talked about this during our live broadcast, our wall to wall coverage there in the vendor's room, that she's not going to be stepping outside of the School of Santas to do actual photography work as she's done in the past. She's going to be transitioning more over to her studio where she has just a ton of different settings set up, and we'll let her talk more about that maybe next week when she comes on the Tuesday Night Live show for the uh, first Tuesday of every month. She comes on as one of our special guests, helping as a co-host of all things. All right, so at this point, real quick, I want to mention the memorial service that we're having for Santa Gordon Bailey will be June 10th. I know I mentioned this in the beginning, but I want to cover it again. We've had some folks join since the first of the show. June 10th in Honey Grove, Texas. It will be at the church where Gordon had been a volunteer for the last couple of years for the food pantry up there, helping sort and load food to the needy. And uh, once that memorial service is over with at the church, then we're going to transition over to Scott Martin and Chrissy Kovic's place there just around the corner. And we'll sit around, talk about memories, tell stories, have some food on hand. And so if you do decide you want to come to the second portion of that, please reach out to Christy. She can be found on all the different areas of Facebook. If not, reach out to me and I can get you in contact with her. But let them know because we need RSVP on that second portion because of the food that we'll need to cover for everyone. So please do that. And if you plan on coming to Honey Grove for Gordon's Memorial, it would be greatly appreciated. That man gave more of himself to our Santa community than anyone else I know of. And I've been doing this over 13 years. Gordon was one of the first people that I met, and he reached out to me. He took me under his wing. The night that he started Santa and the Business Being Santa Facebook group, he reached out to me, asked me to come on board with him as a administrator. We quickly gelled together as brothers. He has documented many times that he felt that me and my family was his closest and best family. Uh, Spending as much time as we could with him. Christy's involved in that. Gina Bacon, Stephen Arnold. I mean, I can go on and on and on about folks that are really, really close. Spangle to Gordon, but there's so many in the community that owes Gordon so much. It would be so nice, absolutely so nice to see folks travel in and pay their last respects. I know if the good Lord above is looking, looking down and will allow Gordon just to see the love and the outpouring. And that's one of the problems we have in life. We know we have these feelings for folks, but we wait until they pass before we really talk about them or show it. And so anyway, I won't rant on anymore. I just want to get that out there.
Can you address Ben Bellhorn quick?
Yeah, Ben's looking to see if there's an airport close to. Is there an airport close to that city, Bob?
Uh,
To fly into?
yes, probably the Paris airport, which is about 20-25 miles east of Honey Grove. Honey Grove is on US 82. That's US 82, the south of the Red River. The Red River, of course, is the border between Oklahoma and Texas. You've got Sherman and Denison to the left on US 75, US 69, and US 82 all come together on the west. On the east side, you have one of the Indian Nation turnpikes coming out of northern Oklahoma down to Paris. And so either Sherman Denison and or Paris. And if you decide to do that, Ben, and you need a ride from the airport and back, we will get that arranged for you, sir. Derek says if I can swing it, I'll make it there. If I drive from Atlanta, don't mind taking on a passenger. There you go, guys. If anyone over in the Atlanta East Coast area close enough to Derek that can get to him, you can come along with him. And thank you so much, Derek. And Derek's another one that's very close to Gordon. Derek again has been so fantastic to be good friends with Gordon and myself and many of us in the Santa community. And Derek's quality people also. Thank you, Derek. Okay, I think that covers everything there. All right, Randy, you want to go ahead and let's get into the upcoming guests and shows for the Tuesday Night Live?
Yeah, before I do, can I say one more quick thing about that? Don't forget there's that GoFundMe page on check on Facebook.
Yes.
Just take a moment and give whatever you can. It just
Matter of
is
fact,
it's such a beautiful thing to do. I was thankful you guys did it for me, and you guys, it's such a great thing to help and assist with bills and things when it comes to everything else for arrangements and everything. So there's a GoFundMe page that's been put together. So please check that out. I just wanted to put that in too because it's very important. You don't have to give a lot. I mean, give whatever you can. It's Gordon has meant a lot to this business. He meant a lot, So he paved the way for a lot of us, and those books, you'll have them
Randy,
forever.
while you're talking about our upcoming guest, I'm going to go over here and pick up that GoFundMe and link it to this broadcast.
Okay.
And something I was going to say, and that has lost my mind. Oh, I know what it was. Let me go real quick. Someone asked this morning, why was the goal set so high? And our goal has been set up, and we have 47 days left on the campaign of $8,500. they live in small town America, and sometimes things in small town America cost more, sometimes not. But in this case, uh, some of the costs that are associated with taking care of Gordon has been a lot more than we expected. We weren't going to ask for that much to start with. Chrissy and I and a few others talked it over, and that number seems to be close to what it's going to take to dispose of and get things done that Gordon had left for us to do. He knew this was coming sooner than later, and he's been preparing for his passing for some time, even though it wasn't public. Thank you, AJ. Appreciate that, brother. That keeps me from having to go over and do it. And so, anyway, his legacy is going to live on through the school. As I mentioned earlier, there's still myself, Chrissy, uh, Rex Ray, Senator Chuck Moore, and then Keith Alton in Canada. And we are all very much still a part of the school, and the school will be going forward under my direction. I am now the uh, heir to the school, and we are going to be making some changes to hopefully bring you a better school than what it's been the last couple of years. COVID hit us really hard, and we're really kind of have been dealing with Gordon's problems for some time now. And so, anyway, we won't go any further with that. Just go right ahead, Randy, and I'm going to let you take over from there.
All right, guys, upcoming things again. Upcoming things. Don't forget Tuesday Night Live. Again, I said it earlier. It's free. Don't, miss it. I mean, it's free. All this knowledge, all this laughter, all this fun, all those tears. Shouldn't say tears, but there's sometimes they're you laugh so much you get a little that way. But the knowledge you'll get is priceless for free. I mean, but starting April 25th. April 25th. Can you believe that's the end of the month already? April 25th is Everett and Dana Prostello. I hope I got it right this time. Prostello.
Prostrollo, I think. I think it's like PR. Is that correct?
Pastrol.
Prostrollo, Angela says.
Prostrello.
That's a hard one.
Sorry, guys. I apologize. Dana and Everett, I apologize. They're professional Santa, Mrs. Claus. Of course, I tell you, it's great to be able to work with somebody like that. Like we were talking earlier about photographer and children and parents, and man, you have got that extra person that you can work off of. I know Jenny Lynn's on here; she's got some great stories, and Kimmy and Sean be able to help do that is just incredible. But they'll be here for that tomorrow, the 25th, which is it tomorrow night already? Is that tomorrow night?
Can you believe that already?
Wow, it is tomorrow night. And of course, they'll let you know how they got started and everything else, which is always great to hear because we all kind of start the same, but there are some twists in some families and Mrs. Claus and Santa's how they got started. But that again, Dana and Everett tomorrow night, April. There's 6 pages worth of questions that they're gonna. So you're definitely gonna learn something. It's gonna be another great show. But that's April 25th. Then May 2nd, the following week is Bruce Katowicz. Bruce is from Canada. He is a professor. Yes, a professor at Windsor Academy in Windsor University, in Ontario. He's a designer beard. He's all about. He has traveled doing. He used to live in the States and a lot of other stuff, traveling with musical things. And he's got some great. He teaches at Charles W. Howard. Bruce has got some great tips about how we can save our voice, how we can project, how we can do things like that. He sounds so good. He looks so well. But don't miss Bruce on May 2nd. Again, like I said, he's a CW, Charles W. Howard instructor. So quality all the way. May 9th, got a little. So somebody's going to be in there May 9th. We're going to fill somebody in there. May 16th is Dave Sanders again. And we talked about him a few times about the firefighter from 9/11. Every time I think about that, I just get it right there about thinking that what he went through being at the Pentagon that day. It's something we can never forget. But he is a professional Santa. He's a professional actor. So there's so many things you're going to hear about. That's like I said, tears. Those tears might be a little different kind of tears to hear about it, but there's also some beautiful things that happen. So Don't miss May 9th, May 16th. Excuse me, that's May 16th for Dave. Then of course Branson. Yes, that's Branson already. We're going to talk about July 13th. There's going to be a special Tuesday Night Live that night, and of course there's going to be a special one on the 18th. You get two that week. We're going to have live coverage just like they did at Santa Fama Reunion. So that'll be a riot. The first week and the second week, both weeks, there'll be live telecasts from the Branson. So don't miss those 2 weeks. Then good old Scott Parker. Hey, Scott, one of our Monday and Tuesdays from day one followers, man. Thank you, Scott, for that. So, and of course, everybody else that has been is great followers. Thank you for that, guys. Scott's got so much fun to talk about too. But we have so many guests lined up. Bob's got a great list of other ones that he's been talking to. Of course, we're going to have Santa Clausnet people come. They're going to, Santa Wade and them come in. Date's not set, but there's so many things to learn. Especially when you see them. Oh man, the products they got. Goodies. But don't miss a Tuesday night.
None of these have date to pencil to paper yet on these dates. But we have Julia Cracky. She is the Therma Apparel lady that we documented so heavily in Gatlinburg. Those cooling vests that she has is phenomenal. They are so much further ahead in the way that they actually cool your core temperature through your vital organs and the comfort of the thing. You don't even know you have it on. With a lot of the traditional cooling suits, you got your ice packs up here in the front, and if you're sitting Santa, they crawl, and you're constantly having to pull on those things to try to keep them down. Otherwise, you look up and your beard's up across your nose, and so she'll be on. It's going to be a fantastic show. She is also going to bring a trivia question, and the trivia prize will be one of their thermal apparel cooling vests. She's
Wow.
also going to be back for the closeout the season, last show of the year that we always have. She'll be coming back live on that show and also be giving away another vest for that show. So that's two vests this season. Also, we're going to have Rhonda and Michael Landon. If that name sounds familiar, it should. That's Rex Ray's youngest daughter and son-in-law, and they are Fancy Lee Creations. Thank to them for the hat and all the work that they did. They stopped what they were doing to get us taken care of with our shirts and our hats, and we want to thank them publicly again for that. And thank Rex so much for everything that he's done for us too. And boy, did Rex not do some incredible interviews for us? Did you catch any of that, Randy?
Yeah, fantastic. Yes. Rex, man. Well, come on, he's a
He's
Hall of Famer. What else? What do you expect? Come on, good old Rex.
he's such a natural. He's so good at everything
He
he
is.
does. Okay, so Scarlett and Wade Coppin, we talked about Santa's closet.org will be a future guest. Carl White, we talked about that. Jolly Santa Blue Eyes will be coming on. I just need to get with him. And I'm going to sit down Wednesday. Of course, Tuesdays are full of the Tuesday Night Live show. I'm going to sit down Wednesday and try to pencil in a lot of these. We've talked to Derek Dugan. Derek's going to come back on the show with us this year. Mitch Allen's going to be back on. Lauren Jensen, who I know we've already had on once this year. Lauren has, we covered the Santa Hut with him this last time around, but we didn't really get to know Lauren or some of the stories he has. He has some phenomenal stories. He shared a few of those with us in Gatlinburg, and we're going to bring him back and finish up what we started there. And then I'm not real sure here. We have May 9th open right now. That's just a couple of weeks down the road here, and we may turn that show into a memorial show for Gordon. I'm going to have to get with a lot of folks and see where we go from there. But between now and June 10th, we're going to have a memorial show dedicated strictly to Gordon. And so, try to get people like Gina Bacon, Leslie Ramos, which was very Chrissy, Gina, Leslie, Gordon all go back to Southern California. And Leslie was Gordon's caretaker when he had cancer, spent countless hours at the hospital taking care of Gordon. And she's been affected tremendously by this loss, as many of us have. And of course, Chrissy's been Gordon's caretaker for the last several years since he's lived in Texas. And So it's been a big loss for everyone. Anyway, those are the upcoming guests. We filled out a whole sheet while we were in Gatlinburg trying to get more guests coming your way. Can't wait to get those folks on.
And we'll just let you know the dates when we get that tied down. But and you've got YouTube, Facebook, wherever you can watch the replay. We'd love to have you live, of course. And of course, Monday night with Bob Randall and Company, same thing. You can watch it on YouTube, tape, and watch it live on StreamYard or Facebook. Of course, Tuesday night, same thing. So plenty of ways to. Don't forget to click that like button on YouTube. We really need those. That helps the thing. We really appreciate that.
For sure. And before we move along, I want to grab some of the comments here. And Ben Bellhorn, you are completely correct. Airhead is right. Now, let me read his comment so that everyone else can get in on the joke. I talked about being the heir to the Sat Bob School. Ben says, "Did you say airhead to the school?" Sorry, laugh out loud. That was funny, Ben. I cackled on that one. Thought I was going to lay an egg. Santa Tom says, "Thank you for all your support." Talking about the chopper build off. Jessica Rosa said, "And Great Belly support." That's correct. It does. It's really, we're talking about the vest again. I know we're bouncing around here, but we're catching the comments as they come in. That cooling vest actually acts like a girdle. Yeah, Santas have a cookie zone, but the support that it gives you is more important than uh, because not only does it give you back support, and it kind of gives you that lumbar support that you need back there, but it also supports your stomach because, as many of us know, you sit for hours in the chair, and or if you're up walking around, you start to get fatigue in the middle part of your body because you're carrying your upper body. Fantastic how that thing works. They put a lot of research, time, and effort into those thermal apparel. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, Angie put up the link here in the Facebook comment section for the thermal apparel. Yes, that's correct. Jessica says someone must have asked about the price. Jessica Rosa says the show special was around $100, but they might be 125 to 150, and they are amazing. Now, I did see that the normal retail price with ice packs were $2.99. Jessica is what she had on her table there, but she had that crossed out for the show special. So I'm not real sure, but you can always go over to the link that Angie put up and be able to find out more there. Okay, Santa Tom up in Vancouver says if we haven't done Santa True's workshop, it's worth every penny plus some. That is correct. Again, his performance based, and True gives you something no one else is really giving you. I know a lot of the other schools, including our Sat Bob school, we touch on, but we don't go into the depth that Santa True does. Uh, Parker says he's cooking the books. He has both Facebook and YouTube on. I do too, Parker. Trying my best. Let's see what else was there. Anything else that I missed in there? Derek Dugan said he loves the idea of the memorial show. And Derek, we're going to reach out right now if you're still with us. That's a show that we want you on. I'll be reaching out to everyone as soon as we decide which date we want to have that show. But it'll be like our Halloween show and our season ending show where we've got room for 10 in the studio. We'll start off with 10, and we may rotate some people out and bring some more people in, but we'll close the show out with the original 10. But that'll give everyone a chance to tell a story, pay their condolences. Because can't everybody come to the memorial in Honey Grove? I mean, it's travel these days, cost, and everybody has busy schedules. I understand that. We would love to see as many as we could and have a big turnout for Gordon in person. But if you can't, we will be doing the memorial show to help fill that void. Jessica, your train sets were 125. Is that correct? Give me an answer there in the comments if you will, dear. 125, or was that a show special? I'm not sure. She had them marked at 125. Santa Tom wanted to know on the train sets. Hey, those are really cool. I got to get me a set of those. You can paint them up how you want. You can have the personalized wood engraved name put on it. Those are really, really cool. Great addition that Jessica has there. Yes. Okay. 125, Tom. She says yes. And well worth every penny. They are quality, thick, quality wood. If you didn't get a chance to see that, go back and check out our second day, which would have been last Wednesday's live coverage from the vendors room in Santa Fe Marina, Gatlinburg. We got video live. She talks about it live on air. AJ says he's interested in coming to the memorial show. Absolutely, AJ. We want to get as many people to the memorial show as we can. Also, again, I know can't everyone travel into Honey Grove. We would rather see you in person, but again, can't everybody afford to do that? Especially if you're going to be traveling anytime this year. A lot of us had a lot of expenses getting to Gatlinburg back. That's over there on the East Coast, so it takes folks like us and those in the western portion of the United States a little harder to get over. Good thing about Honey Grove, it is centrally located. Parker says they spent a bunch of money learning how to get those numbers up with the haunt business. And for those who don't understand, with Facebook and YouTube, everything's about it. And I'm going to murder this word. I know I am. Aggie rhythms. Did I say that correct, Randy?
No,
No.
that's okay. I won't be able to say it right now either.
Anyway, everybody knows what we're talking about. It's trying to get our numbers up so that they push the content out to a larger audience, and that's exactly what we're
Yeah,
talking about.
and to let people know that if you do it on YouTube, if you go on YouTube and watch it again, you have to also stay on for a certain length of time, and they don't tell you how long it is. It's not, you can't just click on watch it for 10 seconds and click off. That does not compute to a watch. I would imagine probably for an hour special, you might have to watch probably at least 30-40% of it, I would think, or before it becomes a click or becomes a watch when it comes to YouTube. So you can hit the like button, but it doesn't go into the biorhythm or into the algorithm or whatever it's called until you watch a certain length of time on YouTube. And then, like Bob said, it helps in the long run if you watch a little bit more. So it's always good, like Scott Parker said, he's got it on right now while he's watching this, and that covers it, or Tuesday Night Live. And I do like watching Tuesday Night Live on that big screen. It's been a lot of fun sitting in the living room with feet up. So I do like that.
It does give you a different experience, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
It's almost too much of me, I might say. Okay, so AJ and Ben both put up the word that I was trying to pronounce, which I murder a lot of words. I'm terrible at it. English was not my best subject, as
Al-
many of you may know by now.
algorithm. Algorithm. Yeah.
Algorithm, that's
Algorithm.
correct.
Yeah.
And Jessica Rosa says that she will be honoring the show special on the trains for 125 through the end of School of Santas. That will mean through July 23rd, which is the
Wow.
last day of the School of Santas. Jerry wants to know, Jessica, do you have a website? I would assume that you would send them to your holidaymagic.com, holidaymagic.photo.com. Excuse me. I murdered that too, didn't I?
Yeah, she posted that already.
Okay. She already put it down there? Yes, she did. Okay. The link is in the comments. Always depend on the comments. The HD is not your friend. Love it, Ben. Rex says this is how he is watching right now on the big screen, feet up, head back. Oh, dude, you're good. Okay, all right. Let's move along. Gosh, this has been one of the best shows we've had. I love this. All right, trivia answers. What is the oldest street in Michigan? Now, we were really looking for a technical, which Randy described the second time around, but here's what we're going to do. The first person that had the actual name of today, which was Pontiac Road. Am I correct, Angela?
Yes.
Pontiac Road will be our winner. What we were really looking for was the first surveyed road in Michigan was Pontiac Road, but it is now called M1 or Woodward Avenue, connecting Detroit and Pontiac in 1819. Wow, can you believe that far back? 1819.
1819. When
That was
that
horse
was
and buggy
paved,
time.
and now it has the second largest parade in the United States that runs down Woodward Avenue. The America's parade goes down Woodward Avenue. So,
So did you have the winner ready to pop up?
oh, I know we had a winner there earlier on a couple of the
We
answers.
did. It was Carl White.
Yep.
Mr. White won it. Yes.
Very good. Very good.
All right, Carl. Fantastic, man. We will get Spangle to get, and of course, this comes from SantaCloset.org. We got to specify this each week. The gift is from SantaCloset.org, but we shipped those 15 keys prior to the season starting to Spangle because he set up with shipping labels. He goes to the different places to mail out every day. So he took on, and of course he's paying postage on it. Spangle is what a good guy, right? I mean, but anyway, we'll get a key coming to you, brother.
And they let Scott Parker know that that's pretty much not what it's called, but it does happen. Yeah, that's it is Detroit and Pontiac. Let's move on.
All right, let's go on. We're ready for magical moments.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Magical Moments. I just want to take a minute again. Actually, first, I got to start out with, remember, it's only 244 days till Christmas. 244 days till Christmas. So let's get ready. Get ready. And so, of course, that means our season starts 45 days before that. So probably less than 200 days till the holidays. So what I want to start out with something I talked about a couple weeks ago is I want you guys to take a second, just to take a moment and think back when you were a child and think about how you thought when you saw Santa for the first time. And that's why we've got to look at how we do things that are magical, not always magic props, not always a magic item, how things are looked at through a child's eyes. So the best thing to look at, of course, when you're thinking about what you want to put together, is think about it when you look at it through when you were a child, not a childish eyes, but the child's eyes. Little things like this is this I think this I got such a rapport, fun out of things that so many children don't even know what this is anymore. We all know what it is. It's a music box. Now, so many children get such a thrill out of hearing so many children get a thrill out of hearing the good old-fashioned music box. Now, it isn't a magic trick. It's such a special magical thing that Santa can bring along, and it's an old style look, but it's such a beautiful sound. This one says, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." And but little things like that you want to put into your routine that will make you, and I'm going to say this word, it's a little different than Ed's word. I say exceptional. And every one of our performances, we need to be exceptional because we are performers, and we want to make sure that every time we leave, that we leave those magical memories with the families. The children will remember, the photos will remember, the parents will remember, and you'll get rebooked again. That's the best part. So it's even little things like, in fact, this is something that I know I showed before, but I get so many questions. And again, it's just talking about the backstory, and it's nothing magical. If I can get a good picture of it here, maybe I can get a good, there we go, is a watch. Now, this is just an aviator watch I purchased on eBay. Yes, a fancy place. But I get so many questions, and it gives me a long story for the children to talk about. Well, this is the time where I'm at. This is North Pole time, even though it's a barometer. Even you just tell the children it's North Pole time, or you can make up whatever story you want. That's how much magic I have left. And of course, that's a compass to let me know how I get to North Pole. So your items don't have to be real props. They can be used because you need to have a watch where you're at. But you get so much time, and it takes that your time that you're with the child a little further just by talking about something that is so different. That or where? Oh, here it is. So many children have never seen a kaleidoscope. Wrong end. Seen a kaleidoscope before. But when you buy a brass one, oh, it looks so much more so much more special for a child. And you bring that along in your bag, and it's just because it's a kaleidoscope. It's a beautiful thing to share with children and all that. And most children don't even know what a kaleidoscope is anymore. So it's something that we can take from our childhood many, many years ago that we can incorporate into nowadays for children that they think is almost new. Music box, a kaleidoscope. just little things like that. So, and of course, the old fashioned, we always have backstories about things. Of course, you talk about, of course, coal. You're going to make your own story up. Again, that just adds that little more magical step that Santa needs for props and to talk about. You can tell that I like my little containers, my little boxes. I think they look a little bit more, like I said the word magical again, but they add a little bit instead of keeping it in a bag or like that. But just take that second and think back what kind of made you excited when you were young when you saw Santa, and then take those basic props and do it. So just take something small, a watch, your bells, your keys, whatever it is we talked about before, and get that story and bring that up to that exceptional level with your backstory. Because man, when you leave, they've got that smile, and you gave that another one more year of happiness to the child and the family. Is a fantastic thing. I know this is a little off topic about magic and all that, but a friend of mine is a magician, quite a few, named Paul Draper, and this is something he wrote about how we keep on going. And it's a little thing that I actually have on my wall. It says, "Every success I've experienced has been powered and propelled by enthusiasm." And that's what we need to have. We need to have that enthusiasm when we're there. So if it is just doing the music box, you should get all excited. You should get all happy. And we know Mrs. Claus does too. But it's that enthusiasm that gives you that thrill, that magical connection with the family. So believe in your character, believe in the holiday, and thank you very much. Stay healthy. See you soon. Thanks again for the magical moments.
As I got to say, Randy brings the enthusiasm more than anybody. Michael Howe is another one. Those guys work together a lot up there in Michigan Maps, and when he speaks of enthusiasm, he's always got that enthusiasm, always ready to be performing, and that's the utmost professional way to approach the business.
Can
That's
you address Ernie's comment real quick?
Ernie wants to know, where can I get one of the music boxes?
it's kind of cool. I got Jingle Bells and we wish you a Merry Christmas. I picked up both. Now I bought them. I'm an eBay person. There isn't anything I can't find on eBay. But yeah, just type in music boxes, Christmas songs, and you can't always find them, but throughout the year you might be able to find them. And they come from China, so this will take you probably till September to get. But they were only a few dollars, and they're just beautiful, you know. They even sound very good. They sound pretty good. And these I've had for about 3 years now. I use them on quite a few of the virtual. Of course, I keep in my bag. Um, but just yeah, I mean the old fashioned when you were young, when we were young, you know, all girls had music boxes with their jewelry in it. Nobody has music boxes anymore. It's such a novelty now. And then when you can crank it and the children can crank it, it adds that extra little heightened for something special. And it isn't a prop. I mean, it's a prop, but it's not a you're not doing magic. You're just in heightening the magical experience, Spangle says, magical things happen around Santa, and they do, and that's something special.
That's for sure. Jessica says she met Michael Howell at the reunion. We had an awesome session. He is a hoot.
Yeah.
Jackie Chamberlain says, leave a little sparkle wherever you go. That's so true, Jackie. Jackie, matter of fact, I've been meaning to reach out to you, and if you've got some time here in the next day or two, I'd like to reach out in a private message. I'd like to get you on our Tuesday Night Live show. So while I got your ear, I thought I'd holler at you for that. Gary Linder says Amazon has them. So there you go. You can find them on Amazon also, talking about the music boxes. Moesha thought that how cute. Parker has a comment on the kaleidoscope. He says you can see the northern lights in it.
Yep.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
Gosh, I think Ernie says on the music box, that's the perfect size too. Thanks. What about Santa Ed before the school? Well, Tom, Ed's a busy man. We'll have to try to get with him and see what we can do, but we don't want to spoil School of Santas either. So that would be something I'd have to clear with Spangle also. But great idea. No, Jackie, you're not in trouble. I just want to talk to you about being a guest on our show. All right. Is there anything I missed, Angela?
No, I think you got it.
Okay, very good, Randy. Great segment, by the way. You always bring your A game when it comes to that segment. Love magical moments. Okay, so if everyone's ready, let's jump into the Santa's flight checklist next. All right, Santa's flight checklist for today. Doing your homework up front and making sure you are well prepared. Of course, today's Santa's flight checklist. Let's talk about communications. Each week we try to pick a topic and go through a little bit. Now, I know I gave a lot of this away up in the hot topic segment, and today's flight checklist pertains to that hot topic question that we posed about working with photographers for the first time. I was fortunate to work with several professional photographers in 2022. One of them, as I had mentioned, had been established for years, and she allowed me no input into the process, and that was okay. I understood my place. I did her the kind of job that she wanted. She was 100% pleased with my performance. There was a few times I could have helped out a situation. After the first day, I realized that was not going to happen on my part. Keep my mouth shut, do my job, and I did. Uh, the second had been established for several years, and she welcomed all my input and poses. She was totally receptive, asked me if it was there anything I wanted to do, and she was such a delight to work with. She's a younger photographer, and the future, the sky is the limit for her and her future. And of course, the results of the photos and the visits were stellar. I had some of my best visits with her in her studio because she allowed me to be Santa, not just a prop. The third photographers that I was talking about was actually two different photographers I did for a shoot that I've done for years now. This was their first time to come in to be the photographers for the shoot. One of them was a videographer and also photographer, and she documented everything from the moment the families walked in until they walked out. All of our interaction with the video camera, which is going to be used for future endeavors. The second, and I back up real quick. She also used a long lens. She was in the back of the room taking shots that the second photographer was not getting. The second photographer was a high school student. He's another one who has a great future in the industry, not only as a Christmas photographer, but he also does high school shots and all kinds of things, prom shoots and that sort of thing. Anyway, he was phenomenal. He was all over the room with a short lens. He was down on the ground. He was in chairs. He was getting perspectives and shots that a lot of photographers don't get because he was young. He was agile. He would crawl around. He could get in places that many photographers won't. But the cool part about that particular shoot was they turned me loose and they sat back and they snapped away. And the final results was that it was so much fun for me and really turned out to be some of the best photos that I've taken, not only in the 22 season, but ever. And these two photographers I'm talking about, one is a lady my age, the other one was a young man. They reminded me of my sessions with Jessica. Jessica just turns you loose. She does give you direction throughout the shoot, but she's snapping away. And I love a photographer that's not scared to hit the button. Anyway, that is Santa's flight checklist for today, and we appreciate that. I do want to mention something real quick before we get off the show. They had a memorial tree in Gatlinburg this week, and they was asked to put up. Folks were asked to go in and put up, ornaments. And at the end of the reunion, They tore the tree down, laid these out on the table, and said, anyone that wants one, grab them. I grabbed this one right here, and this happened to be put on the tree by Rex Ray. I want to thank him for that. Not sure who put this one up, or maybe I've got it backwards. Maybe this one's Rex. Either way, I only grabbed the one because I was afraid someone else might want one. And Rex went back over and got the second Gordon Bailey. And while he was at it, him knowing how close I was to Tom Carmody, he grabbed these two for me. These are in memorial for Tom. This one has writing on the back of it here also. Your Santa Heart. If many of you watch all the way through the end credits on the Tuesday Night Live show, I have a little memorial on there, a little word I had to say about Tom. And it was so true. And I'm sure in the future that instead of a single page, we may have to go to more than that. We're losing so many prominent Santas. The loss of Gordon this week has hit many of us really, really, really hard. And I've had a tough time with it. It's it's just something that if you live long enough, you're going to have to bury your friends and your family, and that's just part of human nature, I guess you might say. Last thing I want to mention before we get out of here, Randy, is uh, Fancy Lace Creations. We have teamed up with them. We will be having swag for sale soon. We've just got to do some finalization on what we're going to do, what we're going to offer. And number one, Jessica Rosa is working with us to help us get a page up there to help sell that swag. And of course, we will probably also include it over on YouTube. Uh, so those are future endeavors that we've got working. The shirts, t-shirt, we're going to try to come up with a t-shirt line. And of course, the production shirts that we had on at Gatlinburg are our work production shirts. If we come out with a shirt like that, it will be expensive because those were not cheap to do. And when you do stitch by stitch, the way that Rhonda and Michael does on the embroidery machine that they have, that's not inexpensive either. That costs a lot of money per stitch. So we'll come up with something that's a little more affordable, but along the same lines. Okay. First time listening is Jeff. Thanks, Santa Jeff. Appreciate that, buddy. Glad to have you on board with us. We're here every Monday at 3 p.m. Central Time. Tuesday Night Live comes on every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. where myself, Spangle the Clown, and sometimes uh, Santa Scott Seriton. Many of you know Scott. Scott is our special events coordinator and co-host. Co-hosts a lot of stuff with me there. Helped cover Gatlinburg. Did a fantastic job. Got to say thanks to him. Randy, what else you got, brother?
Oh man, I just want to say thank you to everybody. That's the biggest thing, and thank you. And don't forget to go to GoFundMe page for Gordon
Yes.
memory, and we'll get a special show together for Gordon. Again, thank you guys all for participating with us on Mondays. We can't do that with this without you and all your experiences. Like I said, as we say in maps, we're better together, and we are. We're all better together, as maps say, and we are. We all make each other better. So.
Yes, we are. One other person I want to say thank you to, and if I can coerce her into putting herself up on the screen real quick,
Angie.
please. I know you're going to do it though for your daddy, aren't you?
Yeah, there she is. Yay, Angie! Love you.
Guys, when we are on the air, this young lady right here is behind the scenes, working hard, bringing up comments, following along through the comment section, bringing up all the graphics, all the videos. Everything we do is done through Angela. I also want to say thank you to my wife, Mrs. Carroll. She filled in a couple of weeks while Angie was the bunny set for Cherry Hill manager this year, and the two of them together have done a phenomenal job in helping us bring the content, bring the shows, bring all the stuff you see. If we're on screen, we've got the easy job. These ladies have had the hard job. They're the ones that's really doing the work. Just want to say thank you to her and acknowledge her hard work and dedication to her daddy, Randy, Scott, Spangle, Jessica, all of us here at Tuesday Night Live and Monday, Bob and Randall and Company Live Show. All right. Thank you, dear. Love you. All right, Randy, that's about all I've got. I hope everyone has enjoyed today's show. I really think this is one of the best shows we've had. Thank you for your comments in the beginning. Thank you for staying with us to the end. If you did, I know we had a larger audience at one time. We've lost a few along the way. Can't everybody stay? But if you can't stay for the whole show, catch us either on YouTube. And remember, the Bob Randall and Company live preview show has our own YouTube channel where we could really use your help. Our subscription numbers are nowhere near what we want it to be. And if you happen to like what we do and want to help share it, go over and share it. Give us a like, a comment if you'd like. We try to keep up with the comments over there, and subscribe if you will. I mean, even if you don't watch, throw a subscribe button for us. It'll really help us in the long run get our content out. Thank you for being with us today. Randy, gosh, man, you are so stellar. I just don't know what I'd do without you. You are the best
Thank
co-host
you for
on a
everything you
Monday,
do.
and just love you and keep up the good work, brother. Hope you have a good week if I don't get to talk to you again. Thank you,
Bob.
everyone. We'll see you right back here next Monday. And tomorrow night, don't forget, we got Everett and Dana Pastrollo, and that's going to be a fantastic show as always. Thanks. See you next time.